Okay, let's get into this deep dive on James chapter 4. It really doesn't hold back, does it?
No, it jumps right in, asking some pretty tough questions from the get-go, like where do all these fights and quarrels actually come from?
Right. And the answer it gives is maybe. Well, not what you'd immediately think. It points inwards.
Exactly. It says they come from your desires, the ones that are battling within you.
A battle within us. So you want something, you don't get it, and that leads to conflict. Even it says killing and coveting.
Yes, it connects that internal lack, that frustrated desire, directly to external strife. You fight and quarrel because you don't have.
Wow. Okay. So this internal war spills out, and then it links this to prayer, which is interesting.
It says you do not have because you do not ask God. Simple enough, maybe?
But then there's a twist, right?
Yeah, the very next part. When you do ask, you don't receive. Any guesses why?
Let me guess. Something about asking the wrong way.
You got it.
Yeah.
Because you ask with wrong motives. Specifically, that you may spend what you get on your pleasures.
So the intention behind the prayer is crucial. It's not just a cosmic vending machine. Are we asking for, like, selfish reasons?
That's what the text seems to be driving at. Those self-serving motives, centered on our own pleasures, are presented as a barrier.
Okay, internal desires, prayer motives, and then it pivots hard.
It does. It throws out this really challenging idea about friendship with the world.
Yeah, don't you know that friendship with the world means enmity against God? That sounds incredibly stark, an enemy of God.
It's strong language, definitely. It suggests that aligning yourself completely with the world's priorities, its values, puts you in opposition to the divine. It's like choosing a side.
Choosing sides. And it mentions the spirit God caused to live in us envies intensely. What's that about?
It could mean that spirit longs for our full devotion, and
Mhm.
it's grieved when our affection goes towards things that pull us away. It's this deep internal tension.
You can almost feel that tension. So, faced with this internal battle and this stark choice, what's the way forward according to James?
Well, here's where grace comes in. It says, God opposes the proud but shows favor, or grace, to the humble. Humility seems to be the key.
Humility. Okay, but what does that actually involve? Is it just thinking less of yourself?
It's presented as much more active than that. It starts with, submit yourselves, then, to God.
Okay, submission. What else?
Then, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. And also a movement towards God. Come near to God, and he will come near to you.
So it's both resisting negativity and actively drawing closer.
Exactly. And there's this call for internal cleansing, too. Wash your hands, purify your hearts, you double-minded.
Double-minded. That sounds like trying to be friends with the world and God at the same time.
That seems to be the implication, trying to walk both paths. It even talks about grief and mourning as part of humbling yourself so that God can lift you up.
Wow, that's a deep process, not just a quick fix. And does this internal humility affect how we relate to others? It mentions judging next.
It flows right into it. Brothers and sisters, do not slander one another. And the reason given is fascinating.
What's the reason?
If you judge your brother or sister, you're essentially judging the law itself. You're setting yourself up as the judge rather than a doer of the law.
Ah, so you're putting yourself in God's place, almost.
Kind of, yeah. It reminds us there's only one lawgiver and judge, the one who can save and destroy. So it asks, who are you to judge your neighbor? It really puts things in perspective.
Definitely brings it back to humility.
Mm.
Okay, and finally, it tackles how we think about the future, our plans.
It addresses those who say, today or tomorrow, we will go to this or that city, spend a year there, carry on business, and make money. Making definite plans.
Sounds as normal business planning, maybe.
Perhaps. But the text challenges the certainty, the lack of acknowledging God's will, or even life's uncertainty. It asks, point blank, why you do not even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life?
And the answer it gives, that's powerful.
It really is. You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes.
A mist. Wow. Just gone. That image really cuts through any arrogance about our plans, doesn't it?
Completely. It frames all that confident planning and boasting, which it calls evil, in the light of how fleeting life actually is.
So what's the alternative to that kind of boasting?
Humility again. Instead, you ought to say, if it is the Lord's will, we will live and do this or that, acknowledging that contingency.
And it wraps up with a final punch, doesn't it? About knowing the good and not doing it.
Yes. If anyone then knows the good they ought to do and doesn't do it, it is sin for them. A call to action based on what we know is right.
So wrapping up our look at James 4, We've seen conflict traced back to inner desires, the importance of motives in prayer, this stark choice between the world and God.
The absolute necessity of humility over pride, the warning against judging others, and this really vivid picture of life's transient nature. It covers a lot of ground.
It really does. And thinking about that final image, life being like a mist, appearing for just a little while then vanishing, given that perspective from the source, what might that suggest about how we should approach our own desires, our big plans, and maybe our whole relationship with the world around us? Something to really chew on.